everyone, this is CA Vidhi Raichura, and in today's video we're going to cover profitability ratios. Before we go ahead with profitability ratios, there are two things that we will need to understand. One is the type of profits and the other one is the type of people who have given us funds, okay? We will call them stakeholders or people who have contributed funds into our business, okay? Over the video, you will understand why do we need to understand these two concepts before we move on to the formulas. Okay, so the first concept that I want you all to understand is capital employed. Okay, capital employed is the total of all the funds that my business has. It could be in terms of equity, that's right. It could be in terms of reserves less accumulated losses, that is net reserves. It could be in the form of preference capital, and it could be in the form of long-term borrowings. Okay, these are all the types of funds that a business has received, okay, which the business is obviously going to use. Okay, so we have two types of shareholders here and one type of long-term borrowing. Okay, this is a total of this will be called as capital employed. Okay, now let's go to the first type of profit. The first type of profit that I am looking at here is profit before interest and tax, which is PBIT. Okay, this profit belongs to the capital employed, which is a sum total of all of them. My lenders, preference shares, reserves and surplus, that is my retained earnings, and my equity shareholders. Why does it belong to them? Because if you look at this profit, under this profit, you've not given anything to anybody. Now understand, if someone is funding your business, they will require some return out of it. Equity shareholders will expect a dividend. Preference shareholders will expect a dividend. And when it comes to long-term borrowings, any kind of lender will expect interest. Okay, it could be a bank, it could be debenture holders as well. So when I'm talking about profit before interest and taxes, nobody has still received any kind of returns out of the profits that we've earned. And that's why this first profit that you see in your P&L belongs to your capital employed, that is to every person who has funded our business. All right. Let's move on to the next profit, where we've already paid our taxes and we've already given interest. We've given interest to our long-term borrowings, and that's why we will also forget long-term borrowings after this point. Okay, so profit after tax, this belongs to only the shareholders. The shareholders could be equity and preference. When I say shareholders, it is equity and preference. Okay, so profit after tax, in this, interest has already been paid, which means now under this profit, or for this profit, the lenders have no the lenders have will never come and claim anything out of the profit after tax, because they've already got their part of the returns, okay, or their share of the profit in terms of interest. Now whatever is remaining belongs to my preference and equity shareholders. So profit after tax belongs to shareholders. Okay, after this, we've paid preference dividend. So whatever remains for your equity shareholders. So profit after tax minus preference dividend will give you profit available for equity shareholders, which is also called as PATESH, profit available to equity shareholders. What's the difference between 2 and 3? You will subtract preference dividend over here. Okay, so once you've given preference dividend, whatever is remaining, whatever profit is remaining, belongs to the equity shareholders. They might not get that entire profit as dividend, but it still belongs to them. All right, now because after we've understood which profit belongs to whom, it becomes very easy for us to remember the profitability formulas. Okay, let's just go through it once more. Profit before interest and tax belongs to everybody, that is capital employed. Profit after tax is after the interest and tax, and that's why it belongs to only the shareholders, because lenders have been paid off. After profit after tax, if you subtract your preference dividend, the remaining profit, that is PATESH, that is profit available to equity shareholders, belongs only to your equity shareholders. Now let's move on to the formulas, because now it is pretty easy. Do not by heart the formulas, understand the logic and then go ahead with it. So the first two formulas are pretty easy. Gross profit ratio is gross profit divided by sales into 100. All of these formulas are going to be in percentage format, and that's why multiplying it by 100 is going to be important. The second one is net profit ratio. Net profit divided by sales into 100. Again, a very easy formula. Now we come to the actual crux of the profitability formulas. The first one is return on capital employed. Second is return on shareholders funds, and the third one is return on equity shareholders funds. Okay, I will tell you how we've already made it very easy. If you see, all three formulas have something called as return, and then they have on whatever. So return on capital employed is your profit before interest and tax. So that is the numerator. The denominator is capital employed, because you're trying to calculate a return on the capital employed. That's why it is multiplied by 100 and you get your percentage over here, whatever values you input over here. The next one is return on shareholders funds. So shareholders are your equity and preference shareholders, they become the denominator. What is the profit that belongs to them? It is profit after tax. Multiplied by 100 will give you your percentage return on shareholders funds. And the third one is return on equity shareholders funds. The numerator is Patesh, that is profit available to equity shareholders, because that is the profit which belongs to the equity shareholders and that is their exact return from the company. And that's why the denominator is equity shareholders funds. So the funds are the denominators, the profits that belong to them are the numerators, and you multiply them by 100. All three of them, all five of them rather, I'd say, and there you find your percentage to your profitability ratios. Okay. Now obviously a higher percentage in all of them is a very good sign or a very good indicator of a healthy company. Okay. But before we close the video, I would really like to give you one small analysis point over here, that you have to always keep in mind that when you are analyzing or when you are trying to analyze a healthy company, you'll have to keep in mind that the returns on these capital employed, shareholders funds or equity shareholders funds should always be more than what you are paying to your long-term borrowings. All right. So when you are paying higher to your long-term borrowings and you are earning less for the funds who have given, for the funds that you have available with your business, your business might not be a healthy company. Example, if I'm paying 15% to the loan that I have, borrowed, and if I have a return on equity shareholders or return on capital employed in shareholders funds to be around say 10%, 8%, which is lower, this will indicate that I'm paying more than what I am earning. All right. So this is one indicator of an unhealthy company. Thank you so much. That is all about the profitability ratios. I will see you in the next video.